Kanpai!
A happy Kanpai to you all.
Kanpai.
Sino super low energy. He's been standing up for a while.
Canada. I don't know what I'm saying. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kanpai Cast episode 166, where we are going to be talking about immortal characters and sort of how that can come across in anime. But before that, as always, let's get into the housekeeping. Like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube things. YouTube loves it when you do the YouTube things, and we love it when YouTube loves you, because that means good things for us. So, we've also got, you can also leave a comment, let us know what you think about our opinions, or tell us how wrong we are. We also have a Discord. You can come hang out. Sometimes things get posted there and then end up in the news, like we just talked about the Samurai Pizza Cats game that's coming out, and we're very excited to talk about that. That was actually posted in the Discord first. You can also submit memes there, and then we will show them on here during the meme section later in the show. We also have an audio version of the podcast, which doesn't feature the memes because they're very visual based. So if you're listening to this, come over here, and while you're here, leave a like and a comment and all that good stuff.
We like comments because Nasuth scarfs them down.
That never gets old.
No.
Wow.
You can't do that. One of our viewers made that joke, and
I know.
We have to find that viewer joke's funny.
What made you think I didn't think it was funny? No, it never gets old. It never gets old. There's also Patreons. You know, and I each have a Patreon, although probably don't do his because he puts out more content than I do. And we both do streaming as well. Thaylien does not do streaming, but he does kind of do his own content on Reddit, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, there's a few things. I do. I'm not allowed to say which channel I'm part of in this channel. I can't advertise myself. I can only advertise them. So I'm not going to do that here.
Okay. And I think that's it for the housekeeping, unless you guys can think of anything else. No?
No.
No?
Other than the return of the laws in a couple of weeks.
That's true. Thaylien will be leaving soon on vacation, but he will be back eventually, assuming that he doesn't get eaten by a tiger.
Tiger in Africa?
Yeah. What the fuck are you...
This is just proof that
in Africa?
The American has watched Monty Python, the Englishman hasn't.
Yep.
That's possibly because he's Welsh.
Too tired for your bullshit today, man.
Right. Let's get into the episode. So I believe this is another Thaylien invention. Do you want to? You want me to try and paraphrase it, or do you want to tell us what you had in mind with with this week?
You're better at paraphrasing. I tend to natter on for a while.
Well, I'll do my best. So the general idea was, I believe, oh no, I remember why that happens. Anime sometimes has immortal characters, and sometimes it doesn't handle them very well. Sometimes it does, but we kind of wanted to explore how that affects the story, which ones handle it well, which ones don't handle it well, which ones basically just treat it like a really strong guy. So we've grouped together a few shows, and I think it'll... Does that about cover it? I think that about covers it.
Yeah, but just to be clear, immortality in an anime sense doesn't actually mean they're fully... they'll live forever and they can't be killed. Immortality in the entertainment is... anyone that's suitably long-lived, it might as well be, unless killed or otherwise, because there's different kinds. Some of them even can be killed, but they come back again. It varies. How does that affect their psyche? How does that change their view on the world? Does it cause them to do anything in particular different, or maybe it completely detaches them from it? So there's so many different ways that we can... that immortality can be interpreted. I just thought the other topic would be really fun to jump into.
Unless anyone wants to lead off, I kind of want to talk about DBZ right off the bat.
Okay, go right ahead.
Get that one out of the way. Right. So this is both Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. I never watched GT, and I don't think Daima counts because it's sort of a side story. So the thing about this is that there are actual immortal characters, right? In Super we get... So first off, there's the Kais. The Kais are immortal. Although some of them do get killed. And then there's Zamasu, specifically in Super. And Zamasu is a Kai who hates mortals for some reason. And so he concocts a plan to get alternate Goku and take over his body. And then get his alternate self, because they reveal that there's like alternate dimensions when you do time travel-y shenanigans. And so he goes to one of these alternate dimensions, gets alternate Goku, and then teams up with his alternate self to take over the world.
Of course.
But because, he thinks Goku is super powerful, so how am I going to defeat Goku? I'll just be Goku. But it turns out that Goku is still more powerful than he is. And so the two Zamasus fuse into this immortal monstrosity that ends up taking over the universe, sort of in a way, before Zeno-sama shows up and is like, no, none of this is right. I'm just going to destroy this whole universe. No worries.
Mm-hmm.
Phone
a friend.
But so that one kind of serves the story in a way, right? It's like, how are we going to defeat this immortal being who can't be killed? But really, when you think about it, everyone in Dragon Ball is functionally immortal. Even if they die, they just go to another dimension, where they essentially live on just as normal. I mean, Frieza even gets sent down to the Home for Infinite Losers, and bound in like a cocoon that he can't escape while he's forced to watch cutesy things happen around him. And all it does is teach him how to unlock a new form. Like, death is, and they just wish people back with the Dragon Balls, or wish them younger, or nobody's ever really gone in Dragon Ball.
There is, in fact, even a character that did wish themselves functionally immortal, and they found a way to get rid of him separately.
Yes, and
that's in Dragon Ball.
With the dead zone? Dead zone.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what vastly... Okay, I've got two things about this. The one is that whole sequence of becoming alternate Goku. They named him because of the thing. They named him Goku Black because he was the dark version of Goku.
Yeah.
But it did result in the funniest line in any dubbed anime of him.
Oh no, he's black.
Of Trunks bringing regular Goku through. All of his supporters leveling guns at him, surrounding him, and saying, "It's all right. He's not black."
Yeah.
And everybody putting their guns down.
Good times.
They did not realise. They had no idea. But it does say something about immortality as a concept. Right? The idea that because you are immortal, you're an overseer, you are in a position of authority, that you form this inherent superiority sometimes, rather than seeing yourself as the other Kais do, as a servant of the system.
Why should we be caretakers of these mortals when we are clearly superior?
Exactly, there's a superiority. They're not helping in the sense they shouldn't be serving the system. They should be ruling it, and that is so often the case. It's a very mortal kind of point of view. In fact, it's a very mortal failing. If you look back into history at our myths and legends, all the Greek gods and the Roman gods and all the things, many of their follies were come about because of their power and because they can't be challenged except by each other. And instead of guiding and shepherding, they try to rule.
You can look back to the 1930s and 40s for people who thought they were superior, and how that tainted their actions. Yep.
The second you start treating other people
as less than,
or worse, as things. You know, that's when this kind of evil comes up. But yes, you could see how it would happen with an immortal, because they're seeing these short lives of mortals every single time. They're watching them rise and fall, all the little follies, all the foibles, all the wars, all of it. And saying,
and it's not just humans either. It's on other planets. Like, what part of the part of what turns Zamasu into what he is going to another planet where there's like a primitive race, and there's a chance that they could become better, but 9 times out of 10 they're just going to kill themselves off. And Zamasu's like, why even bother? What's the point? Anyway,
isn't there that thing with the sci-fi community, which is the planetary thresholds?
Yes.
They have these things where they predict that certain points in every species evolution going through to sentience will result in certain discoveries happening. But
there's a point where, like, if you surpass this point, it's almost never likely to happen after that.
Yes, like ending the world in nuclear fire.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so once you discover how to split the atom and use it, does that result in the death of the entire species? Or does that result in you calming down and actually using smaller weapons instead?
Or does it convince you to do something like figuring out how to manipulate the Higgs boson and create gravity weapons?
Or even space travel.
Yep.
So yeah,
that's how Dragon Ball handles it. It's a little bit all over the place, but essentially, I think the fact that everyone is functionally immortal sort of cheapens the idea of death a lot.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, even Cell could probably come back. I don't see why.
Yes.
If Frieza could come back twice, I don't see why Cell couldn't.
I'm fairly sure he does.
Yeah, so he comes back once as a cyborg, and then Trunks kills him, and then he comes back again in Super.
You see, I see that as come back once because my belief is he didn't actually die when he was cyberized. It's like close to death.
Fair enough.
Yeah, planet exploding wouldn't have killed him without how much power he has, because he was supposed to be the guy that what's his name, Beerus, was going to train up later to become the next God of Destruction.
True.
And the fact that Goku beat him was really shocking to Beerus. But yes, still, Xeno, what can you tell me about Vivy?
Stuff. But I actually kind of want to pivot if that's okay, because okay.
So I was just suggesting the next one. What's
my big thing is, because we see a lot in anime where immortality like really corrupts the
characters,
the wielder. Yes. So the place I want to go with this, weirdly enough, is JoJo Part 1 and 2. Because with JoJo, this is probably like the background thing is probably going to display like all of them. But in JoJo Parts 1 and 2, focusing on 2 first, we have like this immortal race of vampires that have been asleep for God knows how long, and they lived with humanity. They coexisted with humanity, but only in this is the same planet we're living on, not in any form of proper relationship. But
it's like Neanderthals and Cro-Magnons living together, or that sort of thing. Yeah.
But the weird difference is that like the the vampires had like full language. They had full capabilities and understanding of everything. They knew what the solution was to their problem with the sun. They just didn't have the materials to solve it at the time. They didn't have the gem that worked with the mask.
Why is that coming up now?
Oh,
Sorry, misclicked.
Oh.
okay. Well, I'll re-click.
Just went back to this week again by accident.
Yeah. So, oh crap! Where was I going with this?
They didn't have the technology at the time, or the materials at the time to make
yeah. So when the Pillarmen are awoken, after they have been discovered and they are awoken, and the idea is that humanity is going to use them as weapons. It's just like, no, we're the superior species. We're going to eat you. You're our food. And like, it's weird how whenever there are immortal beings, and this is really predominantly in the West, immortal beings are always evil assholes. They are so rarely just bystanders, which can lead to like Vivy or Vash or D. Like that in anime, you do have some that are like, okay, not an asshole, but a lot of the time they're always depicted as, as you guys were talking about, it's, I'm the superior being. I'm gonna dictate what we do now. I'm your ruler. Why?
Well, that is kind of, there is one, there's the counter to that. You're absolutely right. There's so many of those. Lord of the Rings. The
elves.
Most of the elves are nigh immortal, but so are the wizards.
Yeah.
Only one wizard fell. The others were either killed off or ignored.
And I think only one of the Valar fell too.
Yes.
Sorry, I missed that.
The Valar, which are slightly above the wizards. They're like, that's what Sauron is. He's one of the Valar, which are like demigods.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're really close to being the actual god. But so one out of them fell and became Sauron. And one of the higher, I think it's one of the higher ones, it was Sauron's master as well. So the conflict seems to come from one bad version of those immortals, and the other immortals fought against them consistently,
or tend not to get involved. I mean, look at Stargate, right? Just to kind of spin off, dovetail on that. In Stargate, you really only had. I mean, you had the Goa'uld, but you also had the Tok'ra, right? And then even above that, you had was it Anubis who ascended or partially ascended?
Partially ascended, yeah.
He used his immortality for evil. You also had the Ori who used their immortality for evil.
We ignore them.
Yes, but yeah, I really wish we could. So yeah, we'll stick with Anubis. But then you had all the actual ancients who just stood back and did nothing. So like they weren't bad, but they also didn't want to get involved. So I think that happens a lot too.
Yeah, I suppose, because like, I mean, I do appreciate it a lot more when you actually have the likes of Sauron, who was a higher being that fell, right? Okay, fair enough. That amongst all the higher beings falling, fair enough. It is very biblical in that nature with the whole like Lucifer falling from grace and everything. But a big part of these narratives, though, like more popular narratives, like you look at some shows like True Blood, and it's like, oh, vampires have existed for gods. I was like, yeah, all vampires are dickheads. Even the good vampires turn into dickheads. And bringing this back to anime, you even have Dio. Now, Dio is, while he is human, he is an asshole, and he's always trying to get one up on other people and things. But at no point in time does he overplay his hand until he is, I would say, granted the opportunity to ascend, right?
Which really
into
only
being a
enhanced his
vampire.
assholishness.
Which is just like, right, now you can't do anything to me. One of my favorite moments in JoJo Part 1 is where Dio is walking up a wall as if it was the ground, right? It's just like, I am so badass at this point, I am lodging my feet in the wall and just walking normally, right? And it makes me question, personally, what would I do in a situation of if I had any form of these immortal powers? Personally, I think I would just sit on the sidelines and watch the world continue. Like, I wouldn't want to get too involved. And that's similar to, like, Vivy and D from Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah, actually, thinking of the vampires and that kind of attitude, that does give me an immortal I didn't put on the list here, which I'm going to go to now. It's from Castlevania, Dracula from Castlevania.
Yeah.
Because if you think about him, he starts the show as standoffish, powerful, not all that much for Dick.
He's not vengeful. He's not vengeful. He's not
vengeful. Yeah, he's one of those standoffish immortals that doesn't want to do anything to help people until somebody forces his mind, and he then starts becoming a regular, almost regaining that mortal viewpoint by being exposed to a mortal.
He's just a guy who has fields of, skeletons and pikes.
Yeah,
fine.
That's after.
No, that's before.
That's
That's when Lisa's actually going towards his castle.
But I don't think he actively goes out seeking people. It's more when they come at him, he has no compunction.
Yes.
Fucking them up.
Yeah. So he's had the thing of being a vampire, getting more and more powerful, and is facing off against people coming to kill him for being a vampire, and now he just wants to be left alone until he's then given a mortal that then says, "No, you're going to actually talk to me and show me things." Falls in love, has a child, and it's only through losing his wife that he becomes vengeful. Truly
he actively
vengeful.
becomes vengeful. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is a really interesting take because he's immortal, right? Given enough time, he could get over anything. The memories would fade, the pain would fade. But yes, and that's the thing. It got that one specific spark of true love which drove him beyond what his immortality could cope with. And it's that similar thing to the idea of the shifting viewpoint of going from I am a servant of the system to I should be ruling the system. In this case, it's I want to ignore the world because they keep coming after me, so I just want them to leave me alone. And then finally the world comes to him and he falls in love with a very small part of it. And then it's taken from him, it's taken away, and it leaves him hollow and nihilistic to the point
that he doesn't just want to end himself. Yeah, exactly. It is because he's hollow inside and he wants to die as well, but he wants to take everyone with him as punishment for what they did. It's not enough for him to just die. They need to suffer, and then he dies.
Yes, what's really tragic about his death as well is because he realizes he still has an attachment. Yeah. He realizes he doesn't have to be hollow right at the end, and then he's killed. As because it looks like when he's there, it looks like he's still being Dracula, looming over Belmont's friend, looming over his son, about to kill him, and they don't realize, and they stake him through the back, not even realizing the giant shift that just happened in the man. So, as an immortal, Dracula's a terrible and dark story. And even though they win, the good guys win in the end, it's still not a good thing that they did. So that first season, that Castlevania, that the first part of Castlevania, screw Nocturne, because they ruined this kind of storytelling.
I still need to watch Nocturne.
Have you seen season 2 of Nocturne?
I didn't even watch Nocturne at all because it just
he's just going on what you told him.
Yeah, going off with you.
Yeah, that's fair.
That.
So
still.
But if you want to talk about a vampire that does have that sort of, like, the ability to get over anything because he's lived so long and has a perspective on what time can do, it's Vampire Hunter D. It's D himself. Nothing seems to affect, like, even in the first movie, when he sort of gets an attachment to the girl, in the end, that doesn't matter. He's still going to be a loner because he knows everything is temporary except for him. And I think that plays out in the way he's a very taciturn character who doesn't get involved with anyone or anything except hunting vampires. Because that's the only thing that has any meaning to him. People are okay. He doesn't hate people, but he also doesn't seek them out actively. He doesn't care enough to seek them out. It's only when he's like thrown in, his lot is thrown in with them, that he does anything.
I think one of the biggest stumbling blocks I have with a lot of the sort of like supernatural vampiric characters is that they lose all sense of humanity. Right? It's as soon as they become a vampire, let's flip the switch and just become either nihilistic assholes or potentially worse still, unfeeling, devoid of motivation.
Yeah, it's like it kills the sympathetic part of their brain, not the sympathetic nervous system, but the part of their brain that generates sympathy and empathy and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like nope, done with this part of the cognitive box. Don't need none of this, and it feels really off to me, the fact that why all of a sudden do your dietary requirements change you to the point of, we have an image on screen right now, which is one character in Vampire Hunter D who was human,
Bloodlust.
Bloodlust, who was human, who recently became a vampire, and his immediate action is to go rogue and turn against his friend, his ally. And to me, it's like, why? This feels like there should be like a chemical imbalance issue, but why is there always... It just feels weird. Do you know what I mean?
I think Thaylien and I both have ideas on this. I'll let you go first, though, Thaylien, please.
Babies.
And bebes?
What is the only instinct that a baby has after it's born, apart from sleep and experience the world? Food.
Hungry.
Yeah, it's true. And it only knows one way to do that.
Either hungry or uncomfortable, but yes.
Yeah. So it's experiencing the world, and it's either uncomfortable or it's hungry or it's asleep. Yeah. And that's it. I think that effectively turning into a vampire makes them... They're even called newborns in some fictional series. And it drives them to do those two things. They're hungry, they're uncomfortable, so they must attack and latch on the only thing they know how. That's one explanation for it. And the reason that a lot of vampires seem to be unempathetic is that not just time. We've seen other shows where the main character, where the immortal characters are unempathetic in the same way, and they're not, and they don't have to be vampires to do that. They can be standoffish. They can be unreactive to these situations.
But Xeno's problem is specifically with people who don't seem that way when they're human, who become that way when they're vampires.
But is that not over time?
Not with this guy.
I mean,
No,
that guy. That's the newborn baby vampire thing I'm talking about. But the things like D being so unflappable, practical, and
no, but D's a special case because
D's also been alive for a long ass time.
Yes,
yeah, I mean,
so that's kind of
think more along the lines. Think more along the lines of. I think actually a perfect example is Police Girl from Hellsing, right? She doesn't lose any version of self.
Yes.
When she becomes a vampire, right?
And D was probably like that early on, but he's turned cold because he's lived so long. Same way that Alucard has probably turned cold because he's lived so long.
Yeah, Alucard I can get behind, but the problem. So let's pivot entirely to Hellsing.
Yep.
Yeah. With Hellsing, I mean, granted, the abridged series, there's a lot of tongue in cheek, and it's fantastic.
And Alucard is completely different in the abridged than he is in the regular.
Of course, but with all the other vampires, right? In Hellsing, the second they become vampires, they are just, I'm going to be a super asshole.
Yes.
But Police Girl doesn't.
I think it depends on who turns you in that as well.
Well, think about this. Who do we see being turned into vampires? Apart from the Police Girl. Apart from Ceres. Yeah, assholes. People that would sell out their own people for immortality. People that are quite willingly being Nazis. You know, they are generally bad people in the first place, and they're being fed the propaganda that they're going to become immortal and all-powerful.
To push back against that, though, wasn't the vampire that Ceres, the police girl, was fighting against before she was turned, when they sent Alucard in, wasn't he a clergyman?
Are you saying clergymen can't be evil dicks?
No.
Literally, the point of some of the show is that even the men of the cloth aren't good.
Okay, but like I'm just double checking. So we're saying that literally all the vampires prior to, well, like all the ones that they're fighting, they were assholes prior to being vampires.
Yes. And I think that's actually made clear by
I haven't actually watched the show, aside from the abridged
series. So to make a bit of a joke of the whole situation, does this mean we need to watch out for Elon Musk becoming a vampire?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because it seems that only assholes are vampires.
Is already pale, awkward, and antisocial, and has absolutely no connection with the modern world. So think how bad he would be if he actually also sucked blood.
Exactly. So, to kind of go along with this, there are two other reasons I can think of why somebody might become an uncaring asshole when they're a vampire, right? The first one I'm going to use is a comparison between vegans and people who eat meat, right? Vegans see people who eat meat as uncaring assholes because you should care about these animals. They these animals have brains, they are thinking, they're alive, even if they're not thinking to the same extent as a human. But to you, they're just food, right? You don't think about them that way. They're just food. And I think a vampire has to learn, even if very quickly, to dehumanize people because now they're food. That is the thing they have to eat. It's even worse than a regular meat eater because they have to eat it, right? So that's one. That's point one.
Obligate hemoglobivores.
Exactly. Point two is in more traditional vampire stuff, even in like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is much less not very traditional at all. it was either you were taken over by, or you're like, you get a demon that possesses you, or you lose your soul in some way. And the soul is what gives you your moral compass and your moral center. It's not a part of the brain, it's the soul. So if we're going with that route, that could also explain it. They literally lose their souls and become evil.
But that doesn't explain
Police Girl? Yeah. Well, I think that's a special case because that's Alucard. And Alucard is not just your average vampire. And with D,
he's got souls for days.
He's a Dhampir. He's only half vampire. So I'm not saying that's it, but I think those are two plausible reasons.
I think another one to look at actually is, I'm gonna go with Blood the Last Vampire. I don't know if we have it actually in the system.
I think we have Blood C.
I'll put Blood C up if I can find it.
Okay. Why would you go with that?
So the whole point is Saya is, if memory serves, Saya is a vampire, right?
Like a full vampire, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, full, and she's one of the ancients, right? She is one of the the super old
nearly
vampires.
Original.
So, a kind of akin to Alucard's level of lifespan. But her whole mission is to prevent the vampires from going rogue, right? To stop them from treating humanity as cattle. And to actually, no, better yet, it's not humanity as cattle, it's humanity as a BLT sandwich on a shelf somewhere, right? Just pick up and
already
eat,
there, ready
right?
to be made, already made,
exactly,
just waiting to be eaten.
And I think the
instant juice boxes.
Exactly, I think the big thing with the almost weird and alien-like nature of Saya, in Blood the Last Vampire, in Blood Plus, and in Blood C, is she doesn't try to negotiate with the other vampires. It's just like, nope, I got my sword, it's down to hacking time, I'm just gonna slash you to bits. And it's kind of massively odd in that regard. She's quote unquote a good vampire, but she's on our side. But at the same time,
it's only because her goals and our goals align.
No. At the same time, her methods are just as violent.
Yes.
As the bad vampires from anything else we've spoken about.
Yeah. Okay.
Her goals and our goals align, but she doesn't care about how she goes about it.
Do you know who this reminds me of?
Go on.
Judge Dredd. Okay. The whole thing is that she's being judged during executioner for these other vampires. She knows that they are sinners. She knows that they are killers, and so she's deeming them too dangerous to live. Okay. And the reason it feels so odd is we don't think that she should have that power without seeing that. It shouldn't be something that she just does. It should be some kind of judgment we can see tangibly beyond just, they're a vampire.
I haven't seen
they're
Blood
a bad
C,
vampire.
but I feel like in the movie, in the Blood the Last Vampire movie, she is kind of on a tighter leash, and is forced to comply with higher ups. I think it's been a while since I've watched it.
Blood the Last Vampire was very much sort of like the start to something, but no finish.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really amass or amount to anything at all. Blood Plus, there is sort of like more of an organization on both sides that are trying to wage a war sort of thing. It's very interesting where it kind of feels like the rationale in all these cases, it's just like out the window. And I'd love to see a more rational, vampiric character, and there just seems to be like no depiction of any, right? One potential is, I think it's called Black Blood Brothers. Again, something we don't have in the system. It's quite an old one, and I actually really, really enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't. It's basically there are different clans of vampires. There's one specific clan that is effectively exterminated. So vampires and humans want to coexist, but there is one specific clan of vampires that are so deadly, that their lineage is so deadly that they can even convert other vampires to their clan. So they are like zombies in that regard, and they have to be wiped out because they are mindless, and and it's almost seen as like a pandemic, a disease that needs to be stemmed, and it's really, really interesting in that regard. But again, there's like different clans within. There's obviously sort of a hierarchy that is old and traditional, but they have their different sort of cultural, societal norms. Like, for example, one clan, and this is like the main clan you follow, only ever consists of 2 clan members, right? That is it. They're Sith in that regard. But the other clans, they have like loads of members, and humanity coexists with the vampires. Again, that's the sort of thing that I would like to see in terms of, okay, so these are mortals and these are immortals, right? But it always seems to be a superiority wall. I want to watch Black Brothers now, but yeah, it always seems to be this warring, we're food, nothing else. You're being assaulted by.
I think that's more. Okay, the overarching thing with vampires is that vampires are supposed to be an evil thing in our mythologies, all of them. Whether that's the
except for the rare good ones, who
that's always been the thing with mythology, is that in all the evil characters that we've got, there should be one exception for story purposes, or an exception of some kind, whether that's a clan, whether that's the Daywalker, whether that's whether they're all bad and we have a vampire hunter specifically, it takes a half vampire, something like that. There has to be something to give humanity a chance against these incredibly powerful creatures.
I know one good vampire, Xeno. It's even though I've never watched it, it's the reverse vampire from that one show where she has to like give blood to people, or she gets nosebleeds. Oh yeah, Karen, that's the one.
Yeah. But that's a wholesome slice of life show. I don't think she's immortal. It doesn't count. I think it only doesn't count because like she ages like all the others, and
she's also a reverse vampire and not a
it's dumb. But
and then there's the silly harem ones like Rosario Vampire and so on.
Rosario to Vampire, that really upset me because, like, on a minor tangent, Rosario to Vampire is nothing like the manga, right?
Yeah.
The whole first 2 series of Rosario to Vampire is like the first volume of the manga, and they just went and did their own fucking thing entirely.
Yep.
I think I know when Nasuth's about to go.
I can't. Yep, you can see it on the screen on the deck board. So the other vampire that just came to mind that we actually have in the system is Irina, the vampire cosmonaut.
Yes.
Her people are good. All the vampires are good. It's the humans that wipe them out and are evil dicks, and treat her as less than human and use her as a basically a dog, like they used Laika. Is it Laika?
I think it was Laika. Yeah, that way sent to space.
Yeah. With like no protection, but she died. So yeah, but she has this very simple dream. She just wants to go to the moon, go to the moon.
But I think the important thing here is with Irina, Vampire Cosmonaut, which is a series that I do recommend people check out if they got downtime and things like that. Yeah, it's not amazing still, but it is entertaining. But the thing is that everything that makes Irina who she could be is completely overlooked. It's completely glossed over. That's the only thing I dislike about the series, because like we know nothing about the vampires that she came from,
other than a couple of flashbacks that show essentially that the humans killed them all.
No, I don't think they did kill them all. I think she volunteered to
was that
do this.
Stop the killing.
I think she volunteers so that no one was abducted, right?
Yeah, that's probably right.
So like, she offered herself as tribute. But still, anyway.
If you can think of any shows with good vampires in them, let us know in the comments.
Please do.
Or just good vampire shows. Yeah.
Should we move on from vampires and go with the other
I do think so. Yeah. Yes.
So how about Undead Unluck with Andy, who is basically Wolverine on steroids. Okay. This guy has lived so long that he literally keeps a piece of debris in his forehead, or a piece of stone or something in his forehead to interfere with his brain, so he can't remember too much, and it doesn't let his original self manifest too much. So
actually, I would argue that it does let his original self manifest. It doesn't let his lived too long self manifest. Is the deal?
That's a good point. Yes.
So I'm going to get into a couple of spoilers here, because Andy, as far as we know, was born in like the 1860s or something, right? But the thing is, the universe is on repeat. Andy has actually lived through several, like 99 or something of these resets. He is ancient. The reason Victor is so fucking nasty is because he doesn't see a way out of this, because he's seen it happen so many times. That's why Victor's an asshole.
Yes.
That's
the thing with the lived experience. Yeah, the lived experience destroying his humanity, because he's lived so long that he's almost pushed it aside.
He thinks death is probably a sleep release for everyone at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Except him, who can never die.
So I didn't get that far into Undead Unluck.
Well, now I've spoiled it for you. Sorry.
I wasn't engaging with the show that much. But what was the motivation? Like, because I did get introduced to Victor, right? I did see that, and I did see how he had more control over the undead power than Andy does. But what was his motivation for? Because I'm pretty sure he wanted to basically. Well,
he wants to die. His goal is to die, and he thinks that Unluck will be able to kill him.
Is that Andy or Victor?
Andy.
Victor's original goal apparently was to save the world the same way that the rest of the society does. But the thing is, because it's gone around so many times,
he's seen it fail over and over and over and over again.
Exactly. That's what's driven him to the point where I want to die, and I want everybody else to die as well, so this will all end.
Yeah.
Right.
If humanity's all dead, then of course the system can't repeat.
Yes, because they can't use the Ark anymore. If there's nobody to use the Ark, then
In a sense, that kind of works, because.
But the weird thing is, the Ark doesn't take them back in time. It moves forward to the next loop, which is how. So he survives in space, in the remnants of Earth. And when the loop repeats, he is still alive. And so he's living billions of years.
Yeah, so like for his motivation, it's the sweet relief of he believes it to be the only salvation for humanity.
Finishing the game of Sudoku.
Sure. But for humanity, it's like, no, we don't want this route.
Yeah,
so
we want to survive.
I kind of see the bittersweet reason for his actions. It's not so much subjugation, it's salvation.
Finality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we take spoilers off?
Yeah, I think so.
So with that, I mean, you have this guy who is functionally immortal, and even though we see that the real Andy is fairly happy-go-lucky, willing to help people, charitable even, he just wants this to stop. He wants to end. Zeno, you've raised your hand.
I have a counterpoint. Right, Vash. Right.
Yep, Vash is another good one.
Vash, who is functionally immortal, right? I say functionally because I don't know if it's confirmed that he... No. Not to the point of can be killed, but, won't die of old age, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won't die of old age, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Right. I think the big thing is with Vash is that humanity has been brought to a point of near oblivion with the crashing of the seed ships, right?
I don't think it's humanity as a whole. I'm pretty sure it's just that colony.
Fine, but as far as he's aware,
yes,
right?
Yes,
that is all of humanity, right?
Or this group of humans, whatever. Anyway.
Right, but the whole point is that even though they are being brought to the brink of oblivion, his wanton further for hope to push everyone beyond finality, beyond extinction, is, I think, pretty much the only reason why humanity has survived. Yes, there have been tragedies that he has been in part the cause of, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure that humanity, as is in its near infant-like state, mucking around with technology that it doesn't truly understand, I feel that Vash is pretty much the only reason why humanity is going to survive on this planet. Well, regardless of whether or not it's going to flourish.
We do even see him repair one of the plants, right? Because he understands how they work. Because he is one. If he wasn't there to stand between him and Knives would have freed all of the plants by this point, and humanity would be fucking doomed.
Right, but at the same time, the only reason why the plant was attacked was because Vash was there, right? It's kind of circular in that nature, but at the same time, I feel that if it wasn't Vash being the cause, something else would have been the cause that would lead to similar events.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So, and I think Vash is a shepherd, so to speak.
Yes, he's a focus of events. He's not the cause of events. That's the thing. So the reason that particular plant was attacked was because he's there, but it would have been attacked eventually without him. Yes, and to prove this to his brother.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was the Trigun movie Badlands Rumble, which is fantastic. Such a good movie. I think someone steals a plant, right? And he's not the cause or anything. Someone steals a plant, and it's up to him to sort of get it back, because I think otherwise the plant will die, or
that's just basic human greed, though, which is what he's fighting against as much as
Knives' goal is to free the plants, Humanity's goal is to use the plants, and Vash's goal is to somehow find a peace between everyone so that they can coexist.
Love and peace. Love and peace.
So, I think Vash is very similar to Andy in that regard, and pretty much the anti-Victor.
And you can see,
yes,
Knives is the victor in this case. But you can see, like, even though you can, in the scene where you get to see him shirtless, right? You see that he has suffered a lot for this, and it hasn't stopped him at all. Yeah. He bears that loss with him, and you can see it weigh on him eventually. But he keeps going anyway because he has to.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of watching Vash is realizing that he has all these, like, the gun skills and things because he's practiced.
Yeah.
You see him, like, with an egg balanced on the end of his gun, and then he whips the gun away and whips it back without breaking the egg. He holds it and draws it again without breaking the egg, and he does that in the morning as part of his wake-up ritual. As part of his ongoing, he's keeping his skills sharp so that he's ready. And that's the only reason he's alive. He's not some superhuman that's got these skills just innately, like many superheroes are. He's genuinely put himself through the training and the ringer to get here. So it's all hard won. He's a really good example. I mean, I've tried to bring it up at the start, but we pivoted the other way. Vivy. See? I mean, she's pulled along through events more than engaging in them. But, Xeno, what would you say? Would you say that it's a similar kind of situation?
I don't know, because I think part of the problem with Vivy is the infant-like approach to artificial intelligence versus, just immortality in a nutshell. I think the narrative of Vivy focuses so heavily on what it means to evolve, to grow, to reason, than what it is to have comprehension of the situation and then either enforce subjugation or bring about salvation. Does that make any sense?
I think her immortality doesn't really play into how she engages with the world at large.
That's what I mean.
See, that's really interesting. Because she is, and this is what she's an immortal. Technically, she shouldn't die of natural causes unless the hardware breaks.
Well, I mean,
but the software is the same the entire time until the end.
No, that's not true. That's not true, because the whole point of Vivy's generation of AI is to
adapt,
sort of grow beyond the to be able to comprehend the request, and so they're asked, like, really, make everyone happy by singing, and it's just like, what the fuck does happy mean, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about comprehension and things like this. So there's sort of like an infantile nature to that. So given all the time in the world, that's fine. But again, dying of natural causes is something very different for an artificial entity versus a biological one that we've come to comprehend for the longer period of time. So, like, for us to die is basically our cells failing to work and things like that. To die of natural causes. But with an artificial life form, is it a capacitor blows? That's dying of natural causes, right?
But then you just replace it. Oh my god! Stop picking up my cat.
But the issue is, though, if a piece of hardware fails, in such a way that it fries the whole system.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, because it's all about it's like, imagine cutting off a vein or an artery in the brain, right? And then all of a sudden,
Really,
what the hell's the brain doing now?
But really, all you need is the storage device, because you can always potentially put that into a new.
But that was part of the narrative. That didn't work. That's what happened with the twins, right? So they took the experiences of one twin, put it straight into the body of another twin, and the other twin couldn't work.
Right, but if you put it in a blank slate, potentially.
No, but that was the blank slate. That was the blank. So the second. Sorry, you got two sisters, right? One of them experienced everything as it was supposed to, as Vivy did, as any other generational AI did, right? But then you had one which was a blank slate, and the idea was you just copied it across, right?
Okay.
And it didn't work.
Been a while, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that adds to it because, well, yeah, if they're but functional immortality in that respect, because if the same would happen to us if we did not age, okay, we would have all the capacity that Vivy did, with the exception of the physical differences of the robot body. Okay, and we would have the same weaknesses in that.
If you could put your brain in a robot body, you
would be in Ghost in the Shell.
Can we actually pivot to that? With that, you know, because like I cybernetics is not something that I don't think any of us thought about putting on the list.
And the thing about Ghost in the Shell is that she doesn't even have like a physical brain anymore. It's entirely mechanical.
Yes, because she was remade. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
One we go to afterwards. The original movie.
That's why she can just transfer it to other bodies at will.
Yes.
Original movie.
Yeah. Yes, original movie. That was the whole point of the original movie, that something new was born that was a full intelligence that was born from a combination of an artificial intelligence and a human brain that was cyberized.
Right, but I'm talking about like looking at the human brain that is cyberized, right? Because in reality, we don't know how old Motoko or Bato or Saito or Pazu. We don't know how old any of those characters are, because the only one that has actually retained any human parts is Togusa.
Yes, and he's all human. He's got the basic, I think, a memory thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
I think he has a brain case, but yeah.
But I think if you had even if you replaced your whole body but still kept the brain, I think eventually the brain would wear out. Like it would continue to age, even though, you know.
Is that any different to the way we project that an actual artificial intelligence would go? We've seen
because eventually the cells will wear out.
Yes, the cells will wear out with a brain, but with a AI, it can think itself to death because it then builds up too much process and knowledge until it can't. Within the brain itself, it would just develop too much storage and have to start deleting stuff.
No, but again, like you could start purging data sets and things like that.
Yeah,
it's
the thing about the human brain is that once you run out of telomeres, you know, you'll develop cancer or something, or the cells will just give out and stop reproducing.
Exactly. You know? So it's a similar thing. So,
but that's not because you learn too much. It's just because it ages. It's because the DNA goes crazy.
But that's So human brains have a kind of have a shelf life without.
All right. Okay. Fair enough.
So do. So do artificial intelligent brains, in theory.
I
unless you
disagree
delete
with
things.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, like the thing is that as evolution has gone on, we have grown to have these biological self-destruct switches, which have always, telomeres and things like that. If we didn't have things like telomeres, like,
or if we could stop them breaking during reproduction.
But even so, the whole point is that if those cells would just constantly regrow into the original,
fresh, new, yeah.
If there was an accidental mutation due to some outside influence, that cell would just will go rogue and haywire, and that's what cancer is, right?
Yeah.
It is when.
Sorry, Zane, I interrupted again.
No, that's fine. But the whole thing is that when it comes to artificial intelligence, you're going to have completely different problems.
Yeah.
And if we ourselves do not think of solutions to solve those problems, maybe even AI will come up with solutions. There was a brilliant video by Veritasium. Nasuth, I will try my hardest to remember to actually get it for you. The whole point of the video was talking about using artificial intelligence for the right reason, and it was used to come up with peptide sequences. I think it's peptide sequences in the hundreds of thousands. Was it millions even? Because before we had to come up with peptide sequences by hand and try and work them out. Now, people have come up with an AI that can just work out these peptide sequences that allow us to come up with things like antivenoms that people can just take and there's no allergic reaction to. So for anyone that doesn't know, so we get antivenoms by injecting small doses of venoms into animals like horses, and then we take the antibodies from the animals in order to try and make antivenoms. But the problem is that some people become so if we do get bitten by a venomous snake or something and we need an antivenom, we have one in theory to hand. But the problem is that the
couple of problems.
Oh,
A,
God.
you know what snake you got bit by.
No, not that. Not
B,
that.
It's
even if you
compatibility with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Some
we have
people
a rejection
the wrong
to
RH
the
factor.
anti-serum.
Yes. So sometimes people are allergic to the antivenoms because of the animals that they have come from. But with these new AIs and coming up with the new sequences and things like that, they're able to come up with antivenoms that are brand new, fresh, that can be artificially created and people won't be allergic to. It's incredible. It's absolutely bloody incredible.
Probably something they did probably something they used to do with I don't know if you've ever heard of SETI at home or folding at home or that sort of stuff. It was distributive computing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that sort of idea. Only now it's the AI doing it with its many processors.
Well, it's more comprehensive understanding of the whole thing. So
yeah.
I will endeavor to find that video.
I think one of the problems that a brain, a fully synthetic brain would run into is potentially corrosion. You might have to worry about or just the parts wearing out from running too much electricity over time.
That's what I was going to say. Yes, because humanity, if we weren't aging and everything was fresh and new every time, and we had no mutation and no rejection of the process, we'd still be physically pretty vulnerable. As Zeno says, snip an artery, and we suddenly start bleeding out. A small bit of damage to the spine, and suddenly we're a jar with a brain in it. And the same thing, because he tried to point out that same thing of a capacitor blows on an artificial body, and the same thing could happen, or the equivalent thing could happen, and just be a brain in a jar again.
Oh well, that's.
Oh, look, we've got another one with the credits on it.
For people listening, we have a.
So which was the source?
I don't know. This may be the movie.
It's one of the. No, this is one of the. What was it?
It's Ghost in the Shell something.
Well, yeah, it's one of the Ghost in the Shells.
Okay.
So that'll narrow it down.
But yeah.
So it's interesting, and then, but there is a show that works on that whole idea of the human vulnerability and presents immortality anyway. which is ReZero.
Technically, he is immortal. It's like Captain Jack. Jack Harkness in Torchwood, but Doctor Who as well, who is immortal, but he can still die. It's just that every time he dies, he comes back. But with Jack, he moves forward, whereas Subaru loops.
Yes, and that is the interesting thing to me is the. I couldn't actually get through the start of the show. It just hit me the wrong way. But
Season 1
he dies and then comes back. Okay, and he comes back. He resets himself to a point and experiences it again with the knowledge. In another setting, it could just be that he's got advanced foresight. Advanced future prediction, because he's mentally he's predicting all these different outcomes and then choosing a route that takes the right way.
So he's Nicolas Cage from Next.
Kind of.
Yeah. He's Shinpei from Summertime Rendering.
So the but he for him.
Oh God,
every
that's
life
actually
he
a really
experiences.
good example. Not Shinpei, but the other the Hana, whatever her name is, the creature from the other from outside of time and space who was functionally immortal because. Yes. Anyway, sorry. Continue, Thaylien.
Yeah, but this one, he's trying to get a specific result. He's trying to live his life, and I genuinely think it's going to be like that version of Mario where Mario finally gets to live his entire life with Daisy and die with his family around him of old age, and then he restarts because he's still got one up left. Just back at World 1-1. As himself, what the hell? And I think it's good. I'm so convinced that ReZero could do that as well. He actually gets his ideal route, goes through it, has the whole life that he lives, gets the end, dies of old age, and then restarts. But this idea that somebody could make the mistakes, die, and do it differently is, I don't know, either advanced multiverse or just
it's Groundhog's Day.
It's Groundhog's Day, but to all intents and purposes, just immortality until we know different.
Yeah,
which I don't. I've not watched the whole thing. We're still on the series, and I don't think the manga's ended yet, has it?
No idea.
So I like the fact that it is in fact encouraging our guy to be a better person, much like Groundhog Day did. I think he starts off as a very arrogant little bastard, thinking he's going to have fun in his isekai world, and then he actually becomes invested over time and becomes a better person because of all the things that kill him.
So you're not wrong to an extent. The problem is that he does remain an arrogant. Okay. Truth be told, right? Subaru is a fucking idiot, right? He is a goddamn moron.
He's an anime protagonist.
It takes no. He is dumber than an anime protagonist. Like, it fucking took. What was the guy from Summertime Rendering Nasuth? Sorry. Shinpei, yeah. It took Shinpei like 2 runs to realize that he was in a loop, right? It took Hyoin Kyoma, right? I think 2 runs to realize he was looping, right? It took fucking Subaru like 5 to 7 runs to realize he was fucking looping, right?
I think it took the guy in Groundhog Day like 7.
Yeah, well, Bummer is an idiot, right? But the whole point is,
on a scale of Aqua to Kirito, how dumb is he?
Bogus skill fruit master.
Well, no, okay. So Here's the problem, though, right? With Shinpei, right, it was still his world that he was looping through. With Hyoin, right, it was still his world he was looping through. Fucking Subaru gets fucking isekai'd and doesn't fucking pick up that something weird's happening, right? Like, I think the first fucking hint should have been the fact that he's fucking isekai'd.
So awkward,
right?
then.
And it's just...
Yes.
Oh, he's a fucking moron. Like, he has a decent head on him, but Jesus Christ, it takes him way too long to pick up on stuff. But the problem with Subaru is that it is very difficult to fully understand what the criteria is that lets him loop, right?
Because I assume he goes to different points eventually. He doesn't keep going back to that very beginning point.
No, yeah. So at some point in time, it gets to a point where, like, he goes past a point of no return, and then he's stuck there. He can't go any further back.
Right.
So when he realizes this,
but he doesn't know.
Yeah, it commits.
Does he know when those are coming, or does he only know
Nope.
after the fact? Okay.
No, he only knows after the fact. And as a result, he has to treat the whole situation as though he can't die.
Yes.
Right? So, because if it puts him at a position that is a huge disadvantage, because the second narrative point...
If it's like he's falling halfway, or he's falling off a cliff, and the return point is halfway down the cliff.
Down the cliff, yeah. It's a huge problem,
yeah.
right? But the big thing is that with the second narrative point, it takes him a ridiculous number of attempts. Like, we're well into the double digits for him to actually solve the problem. It's unfortunately, the sad truth is, it's the worst story part of ReZero. Season 1 is horrible. Right? It is a real... I know that they did a director's cut, and I hope that they actually took out a lot of the what felt like padding. But still, it's an interesting thought process. The idea of someone that can actually time loop is immortal, but at the same time, I'm not quite sure if I actually agree with the sentiment.
I think it depends. I think for Subaru, it is even if he gets stuck in a death loop, he is still functionally immortal. It's just that he's fucked. He's fucked immortal.
Yes,
but he has no control over it.
Right.
Yeah.
But somebody like Shinpei isn't functionally immortal because the edge keeps moving closer, and he knows it's getting closer. So he can only go back so far.
Right, but in principle, the character that's given Subaru the immortality could just get bored and take it away.
Sure, right. I mean,
But
we're
we
not
don't
saying
know that from where we are.
Yeah.
somebody who's functionally immortal can still die too, in a different way. Somebody who's functionally immortal in a different way, like they just don't age or they don't get diseases or whatever.
Vash
You can
could
still kill
die.
them. Yeah.
Vivy could die.
So I mean,
eventually, even Alucard from Hellsing will die. I think that was the entire point of the series, was trying to find a way to make him die.
Oh, can we not? That ending makes me super depressed.
Well, do you want to talk about something less depressing? You want to talk about maybe Frieren?
Sure.
Yeah, I was going to say Frieren. Because
You say less depressing, but sure.
No, because it is, because we have something that starts off sad and gets happier as you go. Because we have a character that is, for all intents and purposes to the others, immortal. Because she's powerful enough to not die that easily, but also an elf, so she'll live thousands of years beyond what they will.
And she even still has that sort of immortal aloofness too, where she doesn't really form attachments. But she's not a dick about it.
But she also had that from the get-go.
Yes.
So once her village was burned down by demons, she only formed one attachment. It wasn't even a real attachment in that sense. Her teacher just kind of picked her up and taught her. She didn't actually get some kind of like mother-daughter relationship going there. It was always for the purpose of defeating the demons.
It's
Everything
sort
she
of the
did from that
reverse of a
point.
lot of other Immortal characters, where she starts out aloof and has to learn to be human again, or form connections, or, you know, I say human, but you know what I mean.
I mean, we see it in the first episode, the first point where Frieren starts to realize what she's missing out on is when she cries for the person that she's lost, who she only knew for, well, she only travelled with him for 10 years. Then she went away for 50 years and she thought it was nothing. And when she came back, he was old, and then he was gone. And it's only at that point you see the first time that she actually realizes or feels that connection that she's lost. And from that point on is when she starts to change. The whole series is built around her changing. And I love that. I absolutely love the progress it makes. Becoming more human and more immediate the more she actually interacts with the people that are around her. But it doesn't lose her immortality.
I think a really interesting thing when it comes to the elves in Frieren is even Kraft and I can't remember the name of the Grimoire elf. Like, they are really, I would say, singularly focused in emotion. Like, Kraft was a bit silly, a bit jovial, right? The Grimoire elf is very, like, spiteful, and Frieren is very blasé, apathetic. Yeah. It's you know, I suppose lazy is
yeah, lazy is a really good word. From day to day, she's definitely lazy. Overall, apathetic, I think, was the good word you used there. She doesn't feel like any of it matters as long as she's getting what she wants. And it'll take as long as it takes to get what she wants. She's just going to drift along with it.
But
I think we even see... Sorry.
In part, it feels like the elves are... Oh, sorry, Frieren specifically is growing to be more in the moment, right? So, because the moments are so fleeting, and or at least to elves, and she is growing to respect that more. Whereas, again, the Grimoire elf is just like, you know, can't even bloody remember half the people that she's taught magic to.
Yes, and the funny thing, the great thing is about the thing, is that elf is so much more powerful, to the point we even have the comparison with the magic aura they have, and the relevance of that towards the end of the series. And she calls Frieren young. Because as old as Frieren is, as many years as she's already lived, she's a very young elf. And would that not make you largely, you know, if you're that young, but that's the real thing that gets me, is how malleable, like, teenagers' minds are, and how they can pick up on different things and react to them differently, just based on how much past puberty they are, or how far through the process they are. And I can't help, or even all the way up till your early 20s.
Yeah, 25 about 25 is when the brain stops really changing for the most part.
The bit of truth I got from the Hellsing Abridged is something that I actually said before I saw it, which is nobody in their early 20s isn't kind of an arsehole unless they're a sociopath. You know, which they don't have that kind of feeling in the first place. So, because you are selfish, you are driven only by
you think you know everything,
your own experiences. Yes, you think you can know everything, but imagine how that attitude would be affected by having lived hundreds of human lifetimes already. where a human 80 years can go by without you even noticing it.
So I think one thing that is a huge... oh, God. I think I was talking about this before. It was brought up in a talk show with... Oh, he's one of the guys from Monty Python. What's his name?
John Cleese?
John Cleese?
John Cleese, thank you so much. Yeah, so he was talking about a quote from one of his professor friends from a university. Sorry, I don't know the details enough. Hopefully you'll be able to Google it yourselves. But basically he's talking about the importance of an intelligent mind is that it allows you to realize how much you don't know. Yeah?
Yeah.
So if you are...
Yes,
it's the Dunning-Kruger... it's the valley of ignorance, where you know... So you got the peak of Mount Stupid, where you think you know everything. And then you drop into the valley of ignorance, where you know how little you know.
Mm-hmm. But the important... Yeah, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. But the important part is, like, the number of people out there that think that they know better. And in part... Not Craft, right? I'd say Craft, the monk elf, is possibly the, like, out of the 3 elves we have seen, is the one that truly understands and embraces that there is so little that he knows, and that's why he kind of follows this religion, right? But Frieren and, again, the Grimoire one, I still can't remember the name of, they have this sort of, like, arrogance that they know everything, especially the Grimoire one. Naz is looking up the name.
Seri.
Seri? Is that okay? Don't recognize the name. She is... Nazeth, be careful you don't spoil something for yourself. Wikis are a dangerous place to be scrolling haphazardly. Have you muted yourself?
Shit! Sorry. I was saying I'm blind enough that I can just see the picture and not read any of it, cool. So it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. But the whole point is that Serie or whatever they're called, they have this. No, magic should be used this way. There is this super arrogance to the whole situation, and I think. That is what we're talking about. It's just the fact that, like, how many people think they know better. That even extends to the vampires, right? Bringing this back to them. Like, they think they know, but Dio thought he knew better. Kaz thought he knew better. And it's just like...
Zamasu thought he knew better.
Yeah. Even the demons
Victor,
in Frieren.
Even Victor thinks he knows better.
Yes. But even the demons in Frieren, they think that because they are the predator of... humans, they're the one step above humans in the food chain, that they are better, and so they don't even think to conceal their magical aura, because the whole point is to have a better magical aura than the next person. It's their entire sign of power. It's what makes them better. So, I mean,
I get this a lot where, to real talk for a brief moment, I got people at my job who's like, oh, can we do this thing? Yeah, but you're going to have to charge the client more. Why? Because I don't know how to do it. Oh, we shouldn't have to charge the client more just because you don't know how to do it. Well then, like, why aren't we doing it the way that we've been doing it for the last, 6 years? Right? Why are we doing it this new way? And it's the arrogance to just think that...
They don't understand that you're going to have to go away and figure out how to do this, which is time and effort, which factors into the money that you get paid, which means that the client needs to pay some of it.
It's this arrogance of I know better that I think really villainizes any character, regardless of their mortality.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah. It's a good easy archetype to use. That's for sure.
It is
because it rings true so much.
But on top of that, you can see how an immortal would come to that viewpoint easier, because they literally have something that sets them apart from humanity. Either that's more experience, more time, or more power. And having power is one of those things that genuinely corrupts. So it depends.
Yep. What is it? Might
so
makes right?
Yeah, might makes arrogance.
Well, yes, but yes. They think that might makes right.
Exactly. As opposed to All Might, who thinks that might makes you just able to save more people.
Do we want to talk about any other ones, or do we want to? I mean, we're at the hour and a half mark. What do we want to?
Yes.
What do we want to?
I think an honourable mention would be Devil May Cry. Because people forget this is, So the brothers in Devil May Cry have a form of immortality that just comes from they are half demon, or sons of demons, and they have an even better than Wolverine healing factor, almost better than Andy from Undead Unluck healing factor. Virgil, literally in the games, literally gets cut in half by Dante's Rebellion and heals as it's going through him, so he's still in one piece afterwards.
Wow. One Piece. The One Piece is real. Sorry.
It definitely is. That's what Virgil's actually seeking with his sword that can cut dimensions. Yeah, it's definitely not the apple of immortality. Anyway, no, and in this, the funny thing about the brothers in Devil May Cry is that we're fairly sure, the fans are fairly sure, that their skill with weapons and everything they do is not actually because they have trained or anything else. They literally pick up things and just they have the perception, speed, strength, healing power to attempt literally anything. So the reason that Dante can surf a rocket around from the lady launching one at him is just because he is an arrogant bastard. It's not he has the healing factor to survive the explosion in the first place. He can get shot, he can get stabbed with his own sword and pull himself off up across the hilt of it and still survive it.
Maybe they were born this way.
They're literally born that powerful that they're not actually master swordsmen, they're not actually master gun wielders, they're just powerful. They have the speed and strength to compensate for their lack of experience. So that thing of being that powerful and having this longevity and almost this inability for other people to kill them, even each other, that's made them extremely arrogant, but they've gone opposite ways with it. Virgil wants more power and so seeks to rule, whereas Dante just likes pizza and kicking back with his friends. And will take a job specifically devil hunting because that's something he's good at and gets him money for pizza.
A sort of similar parallel, another honourable mention, I feel, is the Dwarf in the Flask and Hohenheim. Their relationship. We've got someone who, or something who manipulated the situation for their own advantage, thinking that they were being, not benevolent, kind, gracious. Gifting Hohenheim with immortality as well, and then one of my favorite scenes in the entirety of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is where you see the full picture of the Elric family, right? It's the expression on Hohenheim's face. I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And I think it's a huge depiction of the nature of a character. Really dictates what you're going to do with the power that you're either given or take.
So power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. If you have that personality that will let it do that.
Yeah, because that's my point though. Because like Hohenheim had crazy power, but he didn't let it go wild. He didn't, he taught people. He became a sage, right? He ended up just making a family, a life for himself. But the dwarf in the flask created a country to do what? To take over God.
Sacrifice a bunch of people, yeah.
It's to become God. And again, I don't think absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think you have to have that nature in you to begin with.
See, if it was me given that same kind of power, I don't think I'd be able to become a sage. I'll probably get as far as oregano and kind of stop.
Oh, I knew that was coming. Nasuth, do you have an honorable mention?
Just briefly, it's the last one on the list anyway, so I'll just briefly talk about Hell's Paradise, where you have two kinds of immortals, essentially. You've got the big monsters, like you see on the screen right now, which are just kind of mindless monsters that attack anything and everything. And then you have, I think they're called the Tenin, which are the actual immortals. But the only reason they're immortal is because they figured out how to like combine. So there's it's like yin and yang. It's chi and Dao, I think.
Chakra style of thing.
Yeah. So essentially, they've learned to merge the male and female energy patterns, and because of that, they can run on a constant cycle instead of wearing one out. They sort of just feed into each other, and using that, they can essentially be immortal until somebody with enough power comes along to match them. But they use it to very jealously guard this place that makes it easier. Like you can learn to do it on your own, but there's an elixir that makes it easier, and so they guard that and kill anyone who comes there. So they and they think humanity is, minuscule, tiny, weak. So they really fall into that arrogant, immortal role that we talked about earlier, where they think their power, their might, makes everything they do justified and moral, even.
I think the only other honorable mention would be something that's not even an anime, really, which is the original Journey to the West with the Monkey King.
Sure, yeah.
Because
we already talked about Dragon Ball.
Because in that, the gods, the immortals, are real in that world.
Yeah.
And they live on a giant mountain, and they eat peaches of immortality. They drink the elixir of immortality, and an immortal was born naturally on the surface, or on a mountain in the rest of the world. And his entire goal was to live freely and to allow his people, the people that he comes from, and he's a monkey, he wants the other monkeys to live freely. He wants to make friends with people, he wants to do that. But in that, the other immortals were not happy that he existed in the first place, and constantly challenged him to try and either take his immortality or to put him in his place beneath them. And the consistency of him just turning around and saying, no, screw you all, I'm this powerful, you cannot stop me, and I'm going to even break into your own home, eat your peaches, drink your elixir to make myself double immortal, on top of what I already have. but his overwhelming thing was always freedom, except it often came at the cost of destruction of others around him. So, again, arrogance, even from a hero of the story. So, can you think of other characters like that?
No, but what you've done is made me think about how the gods, the spirits in Princess Mononoke, are in fact very easily killable. It's kind of the opposite of this, where the gods have to be protected and can be corrupted, and it's not. It doesn't really fit in with what we're talking about, but it's almost the opposite of it, and that just kind of I don't know. Just what you're talking about, it made me think of it. So there you go.
Fair enough. So, conclusions?
I think that Immortality is an underutilized narrative tool.
Because they usually just go with the simple might makes right bad guy thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I'm a bad guy and I got to do what I want. And yeah, not only that, but there's actually surprisingly a lot more anime that is like hidden gems that are good. Things like Black Blood Brothers and Bloodsea and stuff that go beyond your traditional vampire show and things that a lot of people just haven't heard of. I would think that Vivy isn't the underdog that it used to be, mostly because I keep on touting about everyone should go bloody watch Vivy.
It is really good.
Yeah.
Even though I can't remember large chunks of it and probably need to go watch it again, it is really good.
But yeah,
everybody needs to watch Frieren.
Yep.
Yeah,
well, I mean, if you haven't, God knows what's.
You are missing out on so much. Nasuth.
Cool. Should we move on to the supporter question?
Yes.
Let's do.
Absolutely.
Let us know in the comments if you think we missed anything, or let us know your own favorite potential immortal or any good immortals or anything like that. Yeah.
Give us anime to watch. Right.
Yeah.
Zrugel asks, did you enjoy this episode? Well, there is a quick, easy, and surefire way to let us know. Hit the like button and leave a comment for us down below. Nasuth eats them all up.
Thank you, Zrugel.
Right, Zrugel also asks, Xeno, have you ever considered asking a supporter question of your own? No.
Well,
it'd be a little weird, but you could.
No.
You could ask one and then forget it, like you do with the episodes every other day.
No.
Fair enough.
No. Nasuth Senpai asks, if you had the power to make your own planet, would you try to make an even better Earth, or would you make it one based off an anime?
I would actually make the Titan from Titan AE and make Planet Bob.
But Nasuth, are they not one and the same? A better Earth is one from an anime.
But no, I mean but still conforming to the physical laws of our universe, as opposed to like having magic or that sort of thing. So like you could make an Earth that doesn't have
more sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say you could make an Earth that doesn't have earthquakes or anything,
on it.
or Elon Musk,
I mean,
or
that's
has more fjords, or
We have been pining for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Ryan Couscous plus coffee equals null. Ask if you had the ability to change two things about reality to be more like anime, which two things would they be?
Cat girls and harems. Okay, no. I would say some kind of power that lets me fly and cat girls.
I'm gonna go with isekai, just like the concept is real. It's been proven, and harems. Because I'm a basic bitch.
I'm gonna go with key powers and
Okay.
Key as in key powers.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to fly. And anime food.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Right. Okay, Demon Queen Discovered asks, can you name an animated movie from the 80s through to the year 2000 that you would love to see a faithful and fully realized anime remake of? Wait. An animated movie. So not an anime movie.
Yeah, like Disney or DreamWorks or something like that came before.
Okay.
Animated movies that you'd like to see an anime version of.
Right. The answer is yes. If you were all to be shrunk down and given little wings...
It says, can you name an animated movie? You didn't name one.
Yes. You need to name one.
Oh, you're saying yes, you can name one.
Yeah.
You just won't name one.
Go on. You just won't.
No.
I think I'm
it doesn't say name an animated movie. It says can you?
I'll do it, you silly sausage.
I would do an American Tail.
Oh, yeah. Don Bluth films in general. Yes. I don't know why. Don Bluth... Because Don Bluth could only draw one guy, but he drew that guy very well.
It was either going to be that one or Sword in the Stone.
Oh,
yes.
No.
Because Merlin.
Merlin was great.
No.
The Land Before Time.
Oh, jeez.
Like that has
the anime version that would
20
be
sequels.
Super depressing. Yeah, but the sequels suck.
The Thundercats movie. There we go.
Ooh, Thundercats. Yes.
That was a Thundercats movie?
Yeah, it was. Ugh. It was the pilot about how they ended up on...
Oh, okay, alright. Sure, why not?
If you were all shrunk down and given little wings and sparkles, what would each of your what would each of you be fairies of? Like the Sugar Plum Fairy, the Winter Fairy. Choose for your co-hosts.
Ooh.
Xeno would be the Android Fairy.
Okay, that's pretty good. Let's see. Nasuth would have to be
the ADHD fairy.
You would have to be the corrective vision fairy.
Oh my god.
Right.
Yep.
The Coke bottle lenses fairy.
Yeah, so you come along and bestow people with correct glasses.
And what about each other?
Oh, Thaylien. What would Thaylien be? The Soot Sprite.
Oh my god.
Just a Soot Sprite with wings.
The Soot Sprite.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sparkly one with wings.
And what would I be, Thaylien?
We already said you'd be an android.
I was thinking an android.
You said I'd be an android. It says choose your co-host.
Oh, okay. All right.
If Xeno, from me, I think Xeno would be the cup ramen fairy.
But it has to be the really spicy cup ramen.
Yep, the spicy cup ramen fairy.
The ones that mean you need to have the fiery shits. Okay, so from me, Nasuth would be the video editor fairy, and Thaylien would be
gifts at random.
Thaylien would be the interrupting fairy.
Hey, I've been good. I've been good recently.
You literally just interrupted.
I've been pretty bad this episode. I'll
no, he literally. Anyway, right. So moving on to the comments from last week.
All right then.
Okay. So first of all, from the news, from Michelle says news. Not followed up by anything else. But Drugel then says, I remember an interesting video about Cat's Eye. The show ended up a mess. People basically gave up on on the follow-up season. Never give up hope. Yeah.
Because it could get turned into a French live-action series.
Yes.
Yeah. A bit light on the facts and rumors this week, but that's okay. I think I enjoyed the facts more than the rumors, unless the rumors are really ridiculous.
This past week's news should have really filled you up on facts and rumors then.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Right, moving on to the comments from the cast. Zrugel says, I haven't heard of Bureaucrat to Villainess. I may pick this up. It actually sounds awesome. It is. I watched Worthless Appraiser Class out of curiosity. I have to agree with Thaylien. It's pretty meh. You know what? Thaylien is totally right. If I like Reincarnated as a vending machine, I won't complain about anyone liking Bahaneko, the elf girl's cat.
You should.
I didn't like vending machine, and I'm also complaining about Bahaneko.
Of course you are. I'm just really concerned about Bahaneko. Okay,
I haven't watched
I'm not
the
sure.
latest version.
I'm not sure if I want to read the manga because I'm fairly sure that I know what's going to happen.
I'm pretty sure you've already started it and you're not telling
public.
I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Headhunted to Another World is mid. It's not bad, and I probably keep watching it unless I forget. I really hate the antagonist merchant and the way they dealt with it. Doing bad things for good reasons is not enough to look the other way. There are things like and things I don't like. 2-star acquired taste from me. Fair enough.
Oh, fair enough.
I caught up with left my A rank party to help my former students, and it's better than I thought. It starts a bit tropey, but it's gotten better except for the main rival / antagonist. He has no motivation other than messing with the main character. He's not a believable character to me. I just find it shallow. To be fair, though, I actually picked this one up. I've been watching it, and I've known people to be just like that main antagonist, to the point of, like, you know, I hand in my resignation at my job, and then my boss says, I'm really disappointed in you. I'm like, that's how you want to start this conversation? Fuck you, man.
Well, I'm really disappointed in you as well, but not for that reason.
The memes were awesome this week. I love the part where you didn't actually pause when fixing the last meme.
That's because it turned out we didn't really have to. Xeno figured it out right away and was like, yeah, that's fine.
Alright, Strombus Shell says, yes, keep those bad anime to hate on. I like good anime, but I also like hearing about awful shows. I've been watching the daily life of a middle-aged online shopper in another world, and it's not great, but I want to see where it goes. And I need to re-watch Red Ranger. So I need to watch Red Ranger just for the Bond merger. Oh my god.
Bond merger!
No.
Come, brothers, we must Bond merger.
Oh my god.
I mean, come on, it's fine if it's done right.
Right, moving on to the best part of the show, which is the memes. Come on, Nasuth.
Everyone's favorite part, the memes. So we take viewer memes. We take up to 6 viewer memes a week. You can come to the Discord and submit them, and we don't see them ahead of time. We have somebody that very kindly curates them for us. We also bring 6 memes every week. Our memes are mostly from... I keep accidentally mousing over that window. Our memes are mostly from Reddit, not always, but mostly, and they are archived on our site. Check the links in the description below, because Reddit likes to delete them. So let's get right into it. Oh god,
this
yes!
transcends language barriers.
Yep, not wrong.
Shinji subete excavadora ore tendro te haselo.
Oh my god.
Manga, the anime, live action. Fire.
That's actually not bad.
What this is.
That's Komi.
That's not Komi.
Yeah, it is. That's Komi.
No, it's not.
That's not Komi.
That's Komi. It's totally Komi.
That's not Komi.
I don't know. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
You monster.
Pictures taken moments before disaster.
Yeah.
But pretty good.
Yes,
Safe
yes,
now.
that's right. Oh, yeah, go on.
No, that's it. Yeah.
No, stay with me. Don't leave me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because now they've gotten together. That's it. It's over. It's all Jover. Right. On to my memes.
Ooh.
I type :D. It turns into a smiley emoji.
Ew.
Gross.
I didn't
D all the
use a
way.
smiley. Why are you turning into one?
:D all the way. Right. I got a pretty good anime adaptation. First time.
I'm not quite sure by this one. This is like...
It's the reverse of the usual. It's a subversion of the usual.
Yeah, is it supposed to be... Is it just using it for the first time?
I think so, yeah.
It is, isn't it?
I think so. I don't care, though. I like it. Sakamoto is good. Anime about looking for balls. It's Dan to Dan and check.
I actually got Loz watching Dan, and he's like, I need to watch
Yes!
Okay.
Yes!
Excellent.
Right. I saw someone say that SpongeBob and Light Yagami have matching outfits, and I haven't slept ever since. And I hate to inform you, but Makima.
There's another.
No, Makima. What is her name?
Yeah, Makima.
Is it Makima?
Kurisu.
Okay. Yeah. Right, and my next two are video memes. My last brain cell fighting off the microplastics in my blood.
Can't hear you, Nasuth.
Right. And me when I see any cat. Yep.
Yep.
I don't know why it's showing the image in the background, but hey, whatever.
Is that somebody else's?
No, I think that's mine. Anyway, on to Thaliens.
Why do we have hands? There are many reasons. Pat Tamakat, hold Tamakat, cherish Tamakat, forfeit all mortal possessions to Tamakat.
Isn't it Porfit?
Yeah, that does say forfeit, but that's not what it's supposed to say.
Brilliant.
Okay.
It's Frieren holding or who's about to get smashed by a train.
Yeah.
Nobody. Delta pilots.
Oh god, this is about the Canadian air crash. Oh my
Yes.
god. Oh, this is beautiful.
Because everyone get out of it safely. So
Yes, it's only okay because everyone got out safely. Yes.
yes. So I just imagine those Delta pilots in there exactly like that. They got the Sharon gun up and everything.
Oh.
Boys raised by their grandmas. Girls raised by their grandmas.
Yep.
I've got a video meme and then a very, very, like, the most not safe for work meme I've ever found.
Okay.
I play Super Saiyan 4 Goku in my turn. Go on, Pegasus, make your move.
My, why in such a hurry? The fun is just beginning. I draw. Recognize this card, Kaiba boy?
No, it can't be!
Oh, but it is. Time to come out and play. Toon Super Saiyan 4 Goku.
Pegasus, you monster! What did you do to Goku?
And apparently then the most unsafe for work meme that Thalien's ever found.
I don't know that I'm prepared. Alright.
How could I cover this up? It's a tattoo. Somebody's got that tattooed.
I just...
Broly's power is maximum.
Why would you have that tattooed? Why?
Oh, so good.
Alright, Xeno starting out strong with a video meme.
If you have something to say, then just spit it out already.
Is this the yap 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 yap? Oh no. That's beautiful. Oh, I need to send that to some people.
Last time I used that meme, it was the PopCat one.
Yeah. That's what I was like. That's what I thought it was going to be. All right.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Doesn't
It's about
really
right.
need much
Oh,
of an
no.
explanation.
It's all right.
Oh no! My one weakness!
The anime girl pout. Oh no. Oh, I thought my one was bad. Well done.
Wow.
Uppies!
Wow.
Oh wow.
Me,
Oh, yes.
my parents. My 512 gig homework folder.
Yep.
Who even
Yeah.
needs to save things anymore?
They found the Yowie stash. And his last one is also.
Just
a
we all
video
know is
meme.
really long and curly for a moustache.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think this one's safe for. Sorry, I think this is safe for.
Hey man, there's no need to be so nervous.
That's easy for you to say. My cousin got rated as a cuck, and his wife started hooking up with other men. And he liked it.
Next up is Genius-sung.
So, how does this work?
The machine evaluates your experiences and interest, and then uses that information to determine your risk level. All you have to do is place your hand on the orb.
Like this?
That's weird.
Wilhelm screaming there.
What's taking so long in here?
The machine keeps giving me an error message.
God damn it. This is why you get paid less. Look, it's because you're using Internet Explorer like a fucking weirdo. Here. It's not me. It's the system. That's what they all say. Get out of here, gross.
Too good. Too good, Thaylien.
Yes.
I think. Oh, Zeno. God,
That's
Thaylien.
Zeno.
Zeno.
That's mine. Thank you.
So,
No,
I
Zeno, I'm
was
gonna
like
credit
completely
Thaylien
not
anyway.
safe at work. I was.
I'm gonna credit
I
Thaylien
think
anyway.
like pretty good, equal there.
I'm just gonna say. I just want to say, Nasuth's laugh is so damn infectious.
It is.
Like, it just puts a grin on my face whenever you just burst out laughing. Anyway, right, that is it for this week. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching and or listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!
Kanpai.